There's a store of food very close by in the second of the of the Queen's chambers. There's a stock of food for for the local workers and the people who are caught here and can't get away to go back to the deeper levels. So
Exactly.
there's quite a store of the food amber here.
Exactly where I want to be.
Yep. You can take you can take you can carry fit about 120 in a pouch.
What's the currency here? I never really like asked about that.
There is no currency. Everyone gets whatever they want.
Okay. Um yeah, I'll just take some amber honey until I have 200. So I'll just take 33 amber honey.
Okay, great. So you don't wipe out the. I mean, but there are there are bags and bags of this stuff. I mean, you're you're not exhausting any sort of supply.
Okay, I'll take until I have 400 then.
Okay, so that would be four large saddlebags worth
Oh,
that you're carrying
uh,
that you're carrying with yourself.
yeah, maybe not then. 4 large saddlebags.
Yes,
Mm. Um,
because a large saddlebag, you know, a sack that's about chest size,
mm,
you know, is going to be about 120 of these. Each of them is worth 25 gold pieces to
right.
a jeweler or arcanist to
Yeah,
purchase your.
maybe I'll just keep my 177
Okay.
and not getting any more. What is there other like weapons that I can buy or
There's
not buy, just take?
there's a it, there's a lot of tools and such. There are weapons as well. Um, there are uh, there are powered obsidian throwing stars,
Oh,
um, which act as plus three magic weapons.
I like the sound of that.
Uh, and they will every Thrycreen is allotted three of them that you are expected to that you're expected to to honor and cherish and to bring back for sharpening as needed.
Yeah, I'll definitely grab 3 of them then.
And there's also a long double-ended scythe blade pole arm, which is also a traditional weapon. Uh,
Hmm.
imagine a long stick that has a scythe blade on either side of it in opposition.
Ah, yes, those. Yeah, when you pull up a picture of a Thrycreen, you mostly see those.
Yes.
Um, I
Um,
think I'm good with my packed weapon for now for melee.
yeah. That and just for reference, it's like the end of one of her talons that that came off, and the edge is sharp. So you're like just kind of like grabbing this chunk of fingernail that has a sharp edge, and that's, you know, it's kind of like it's about the size.
Right.
It's a little bit larger than your hand, just
Yeah.
so you know. So it's just kind of like a jagged piece of kite
Right.
of like crustacean shell.
With a handle on it, right? Or no?
Well, I mean, you can cut it. You can cut a hole in it so that you can grab it with, so you can get your fingers through it if you need to.
Yeah.
But you have no problem holding on to it because it kind of binds into your hand and becomes a part of you.
All right. Cool. All right, then I might actually take one of these. Yeah, I'll take one of the like the small stabs. Do they are they have like are
Okay.
this like a range of sizes or no?
There is a range of sizes. Actually, there's also collapsible ones.
Oh,
Uh,
I'll take a collapsible one then.
the collapsible ones have these kind of like trefoil ends, which are uh, it's think of it like three circles around there, but the outer edges are sharpened,
Yeah.
and the inner edges are sharpened as well. So you can like
Oh,
put it over top of something and then and just and
wow.
completely sever it,
Okay.
and that collapses down into and it's like a little uh, it's almost like a short like a dagger sized weapon.
I
So you
love that.
so you can hold on to it like that, and it's got the three down here and the three up here, and they also and when it collapses down, the circles also become much smaller. So the whole thing becomes, uh, you know, it becomes a two bladed dagger that just like a short blade coming out either side.
That sounds absolutely amazing. How much damage does this thing do?
In its collapsed form, it does 2d4. In its expanded form, it does 2d12.
Okay.
And and if you if you land a successful grapple check, you can try to use the sever. Uh, you can try to use the sever ability, which
Okay.
requires another successful grapple check. Actually,
All
no,
right.
it's going to require it will require a strength check.
Yeah. Okay. I'll write that down afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely take one of those. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Do I have like a sort of like a sleeping quarters?
Uh, you can kind of there are several sleeping areas throughout the hive. There's not one that was specifically yours,
Hmm.
because you had just kind of hung around in the brood room, since
Yeah.
you were kind of like your existence is a little secret.
Mm-hmm.
The people the the Thrycreen that were around the hive queen the queen's chambers came to know you pretty well, but you've never really seen much of the rest of the hive.
Oh, okay.
You've been taught a lot about it, and you've been taken to see the central pillars,
Yeah.
um, but uh, but that's about it.
Okay. I have this unicorn horn that's still slightly damaged.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking I could fashion those into throwing stars to make them. You said like the unicorn arrow is like a monster slayer weapon.
Yes.
So I was thinking I could fashion some throwing stars out of these.
Hmm. The problem is that the unicorn horn is long and slender,
Mm,
so it's not really ideal for making throwing stars out.
okay. I gotcha.
But
Never mind that.
if you were to give it over to the hive's artificers and alchemists, they could certainly make use of it. Not to mention the healers.
Where can I find the artificers and alchemists?
Uh, there, that the artificers have they're the ones who are at they, they're at the heart of the factory, which is very very deep. It's like the 23rd, 24th level, um,
All right.
out of 30.
That's probably gonna be the last order of business before I head out and do my this grand quest.
Great. So
Um,
you head over to to M's office, and then it's a buzz with activity. Um, there are they appear to be to be uh, all working around some a large kind of central. There's some sort of large testing room that they've built and set up inside this larger laboratory, that they're putting things in and closing them in, and then as you're walking up, you see the whole room seems to light up with magic, and then almost like the magic inverts itself and becomes dark, like
Oh,
uh it
artificial darkness, sort of.
no, think of it like when you color flip an image.
Oh, like an inverted.
Yeah, like the energy is getting inverted,
Okay, I
and
got you.
and uh then you see you hear off in the distance, you hear sparking and sputtering, and you hear, shut it down, shut it down.
Uh oh, that can't be good. I rush over there.
And a bunch of workers come swarming out with fire extinguishers, and uh, the, and and the one kind of wizened looking Thrycreen, you can see that in places his carapace has been blackened, but and not resurfaced to its proper shiny tan color, almost like almost like almost like burn marks on him, like if someone's lost an eyebrow, instead he's like
Yeah.
missing a chunk of antenna,
Oh
and
wow. Okay.
and instead of like having a big patch of his beard being missing from a burn, he's got, whereas there would be, jags along the carapace, there would be a little, incut where a piece of his carapace has apparently been, like knocked away, and
Wow. Okay.
lost a couple of dentals off of his mandible, that sort of thing.
I rush over and I say, "Oh my God, are you okay?"
He looks at
Or I say, "Oh mother, are you okay?"
he looks at you and says, "By the mother, yes, I am all right. But thank you for asking, young one. Huh. Who are you? I have not seen you before."
My name is Beestje.
Beistje. Hmm. And his antennae flip a little bit, and you can tell that he's consulting the mother. And then he looks back at you and says, "Ah, very well. Yes. What may I do for you? Oh, I see. You're one of your mother's, one of the new hands of the queen, one of the new talons of the queen. Yes, yes, yes. We've been waiting to see you quite some time, as a matter of fact. What's kept you?"
Oh, just it's a long, long story. A story for another day.
Oh, yes. Stories are always for another day until you don't live to speak of them again. Hey, stop that! Stop that over there! You need to open that up and make sure that and make sure that you smother it in the disinfectant foam. Quick! Oh, just do it. You know what you're doing. It's so hard to find good drones these days.
Yeah, progress is slowing.
Yes, it is. So, what brings you here? Brings you here, young young Talon?
I pull out the unicorn horn and I say, "This, I was hoping you could fashion this lovely unicorn horn into some amazing throwing stars."
Ah, yeah.
Tachka.
Hmm. Perhaps, perhaps with it. The material does not appear to lend itself to throwing stars. However, we might be able to craft something, because unicorn horn is much more of an abjuration type of magic than an attack magic. So this is the sort of thing that you carry for defense.
Okay. Perhaps a shield?
Yes, a shield would go nicely against. Oh, is that a piece of the chitin of the mother?
Absolutely.
We might be able to fashion them together to amplify each other's power.
I would love that, actually.
Hmm.
Please.
Yes, let us go into the laboratory. Yes, come. Click, 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 click. And he begins hopping with excitement. Boing, and he jumps as he's jumping over the large test enclosure that he was doing. He's shouting directions at his assistants. "I'm going away for a few minutes. Important work to do. Don't let anything land on fire, and record the results for posterity." And as he bounces away into what is an upper gallery, that leads off into another room.
Yeah. As I'm waiting for him, any other notable characters?
You're looking around, and there's several work crews. Each of their carapaces are striped with different groove patterns, to delineate their place in the society. Which circle they live on, what their neighborhood is, what their cohort is, which generation of their name they are, so
Mm.
on and so forth. And some of these workers actually look like the 3500th of their name.
Wow. Okay. And yeah, I'll just wait for him to come back.
Okay, so you're standing there for a little while, and you're watching them, and the object that they drag out of the inside of this inside of this test enclosure, is a mangled piece of crystal that's blackened, and is spiderwebbed with cracks all over it, and whatever was on top of it is just is almost ashes. And
Whoa.
they're dragging it across, and it's making this horrible screeching noise across the hard at the hard marble ground.
I
Um,
uh, I I yell over and hey, you need any help?
they start looking around like, oh, and
Oh.
and you notice they're pulling it into line with a bunch of other sleds, and you see a bunch of apparently unused sleds, which are pristine and normal and look kind of like impervious glass. Each of them with a thrycreen resting peacefully on top of it.
Oh. Oh, I think I can infer from what they're doing that the ashes on top of the last one was once a Thrycreen.
Yeah, looks like it, but it looks like whatever this it looks like all of the previous tests on whatever it is are all just completely destroying whatever whatever they're doing to it is completely like pulverizing, destroying everything. Just
Oh,
reducing them to ashes and destroying the test sled in the process.
that can't be legal if we have laws.
You do have laws, but
Oh,
but there's no law that Thrycreen are allowed to give their lives in the service of the hive.
fair enough.
It's a
Yeah,
great it's a great honor.
I'll just like push it out of my mind, ignore it.
So you're standing there watching, and there are technicians swarming over this test enclosure, with metal grinders, and they're repairing the thing as best as possible, and they're putting new electrodes in, and wiring it, and putting covering over with new panes of crystal, and re-cementing it in, um, and the head engineer, the head artificer, still has not reappeared.
Okay, I'm gonna. Where did he go into? I'm gonna go check on him.
There, the central work area is surrounded by a series of galleries, that get smaller as they go up. So there's kind of like a lower um, triple height kind of like storage and assembly area, and then above that is a double height kind of workshop and small component area, and then on top of that is a single height like row of offices and meeting rooms and
Oh,
such.
uh, who's joined?
Gray,
Oh,
great, but we get audience from time to time, so it's
okay.
especially for these
If it
these test
if it makes you feel weird, I can leave.
Oh, no, it's all right. Uh, um, I forgot what I was gonna say.
So you were looking around at, and he had disappeared into one of the up top tier offices.
Yeah. I'm just gonna follow him in there.
Okay, it takes just a couple of hops to get up there. There's li- there's there's stepping or there's hopping areas, which are purpose made to to for for Thrycreen to be able to get up to the upper tiers quickly.
Yeah.
And you jump up into the one where you saw him disappear. He's in there wearing a complex contraption over top of his head, which has a series of lenses that go over the top of of his eyes. Um, and you can see that he's got the chitin on top of a work table of some kind, and it's been clamped down onto a work surface with the unicorn horn next to it. You can see that the unicorn horn has been filled with some kind of silvery metal. The damaged break in it. It's been re-straightened, and it's been filled in, so you can see like a thin line of silvery, almost glowing metal, that has been inset into the crack to strengthen it stronger than it was before. And the chitin is kind of like a little plate like this, and then you've got the unicorn horn that's going on the side like this, and he's in the middle of welding these pins through it, to hold to rivet the two pieces together. And as a matter of fact, there's bright ultraviolet flashes of light, as he magically welds the pins together, by conjuring a spark between the ends of his three claws.
I telepathically speak to him. Hey, do you need any help with that?
Says, "It will be ready momentarily, young Talon.
Delightful.
You may come and approach and watch if you wish. You may have to repair it in the field."
Absolutely. Just tell me what the key aspects of it are.
So you see the spell that he's using is a modified form of a shocking grasp spell he's purposely modifying the range of it to create a welding arc
Okay.
between his claws. And so you now have access to the spell weld.
Weld? I just
Weld.
learned that?
Yes, you're learning it right now
Oh.
from watching him do this.
What level spell is that?
It
Or is it a
is
cantrip?
it is a cantrip,
Okay.
and it is a variant of shocking grasp.
Okay. Gotcha.
And he shows you what it is. Says, "The pins are the hard part to come by. I will give you one spare, just in case you need it to hold it to hold the greater weapon together."
Okay. I'll just put pin in my inventory then.
By the way, of course, the unicorn gave its horn willingly. Yes.
I don't know. Someone just gave this to me.
Hmm. 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 That could be bad. Uh, ooh, and we've already welded it to. Oh my. Oh, that could be bad. Um, hmm.
How bad?
Well, let's just say that unicorn horns that were not given willingly tend to not um, obey their wielder's wishes.
How can we tell if it wasn't given willingly?
Well, we'll know shortly, won't we? Ha
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 ha!
ha.
He picks it up off the workbench, and then flexes out his claws a little bit and says, uh, here. Give it a try.
Um. Okay. What? Like, just like start swinging it.
uh, yeah, so you can give it a swing. Are you going to try to activate any of the powers or anything that the
what?
abilities that you have with it?
Um. Like, what abilities? Like, are there new abilities that this thing gives me?
Well, you have there are abilities that you already know that you can do with it
Right.
because
I'll.
you leveled up and took another level of warlock, right?
Yeah. 10th level.
hmm did you take a
No.
new invocation or anything like that?
No. No new invocations, but a cantrip. Yes.
Okay, what was your new cantrip?
I did not choose yet, but I think I'm going to choose True Strike.
Okay,
Um. But yeah, I'll just start I guess swinging it and yeah, sure.
okay. So you give it a
See what
couple test
happens.
swings. It's a bit heavier than it was before, um, but and it's a little bit and it's a lot more awkward because one of the spots where your claw really went onto it is now occupied by the thick by the
Hmm.
thick end of the horn.
So it's a little hard getting used
Yeah,
to.
yeah. So you just kind of like get your hand or get your claws around it. It's like, oh, I gotta hold it like this. You
Yeah,
try this. So you're giving it some test swings. You're like, yeah,
yeah.
like what am I gonna do with this? And you
I not out of frustration, but out of curiosity, I sort of um like I take it, I lift it with mage hand, and I just like sort of like fling it to the wall, making it like stick in the wall for like a throwing projectile.
okay. Roll me roll a to hit roll.
Okay.
D20 plus
Yep.
your dex, plus
Yes.
any other anything else you get for your pack weapon.
Yep. 16.
16. Do you want to describe what you do?
Yeah, I sort of take it not above my head, like sort of to my chest, and I like sort of like a frisbee, and I just sort of like fling it with my wrist, and as my wrist as my arm curves and my wrist flicks to throw it, like literally like a frisbee.
Like a frisbee. So it tumbles end over end,
Yeah,
chitin
right.
horn, and goes poof and smacks in and impacts the wall, leaving 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 a thunderous crack as it hits, and boom, and a little bit of dust rains comes filters down from the ceiling, and you see a large crack go up into the wall.
Uh-oh. That can't be good. I say to him.
He looks and he says, "Ooh, yes, yes. It was it. The unicorn must have given up its horn willingly. Oh, what a noble event that must have been. Oh,
What a relief.
yes, yes, indeed. Yes." And he hops over and extricates it from the wall and says, "Oh, here, try." It hops back to you. Try the horn side. Try the horn side.
Absolutely. I take the horn set and I sort of like do some jabs right in front of me, like
He goes,
I
ah, ah, ah.
not
He
to
hop,
him,
he hop,
just to sort in the air.
he hops back a little bit, uh, and uh, and you don't feel anything in particular from attacking with the horn.
Hmm. Um, I guess I'll like just take the horn side and just like stab it into the ground with force.
You turn around to stab it into the ground, and a young delivery drone is walking up to bring the artificer a cup of tea, and you stab right down through him and stake him
No.
into the ground. He gets
Um,
right in your way.
no. Um, he's probably dead by now, right?
You know, you just impaled him, so
Uh,
So he's not dead yet, but he's.
I quit. I quickly pull it out, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
And Iker begins just praying. He's like, oh.
I take him.
You have the unicorn horn in your hand, and it's got bug guts on
Yeah.
the edge of it, bug juice.
Um,
You gonna touch? You gonna lean down to see if you can help the guy?
I don't know if I don't have any healing spells,
So
so
you reach down and as you and as you're checking, going, oh my, what? And the unicorn horn begins glowing, and it closes the Thrycreen's wounds.
ah, okay, very nice. I say to him, I'm so sorry.
He's like, oh, you just healed me. How
Yes,
amazing!
after I just stabbed you, which is it sort of counteracts it. So I'm so sorry in advance again.
Uh, he almost seems honored. He almost seems honored to have been. Oh, that's not good. He almost seems honored to have been the to have been stabbed by you.
Okay. Um, I speak to the artificer. I can't thank you enough for this. This modification is amazing, and I love it. Thank you so much.
He says, "Well, you brought it to us, great Talon, and I'm sure that I'm 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 sure you will prove yourself worthy of it in whatever deeds that the queen has, whatever important deeds the queen has set before you."
Indeed, I will. And with that, I walk out of the room.
You exit the room, and
And what are you gonna say?
you exit the room, and where are you going to exit to? Where are you headed?
Um, as sort of out of the hive because this was my last order of business before I embark on this
Okay.
embark.
The artificer's hall is not far from the central columns, which lead all the way up the air shaft and out the top.
Okay.
You can pass by some of the ancient carvings and read some things if you're interested in reading any of the ancient lore of your people on the way out.
Um,
It's written in huge glyphs.
there's probably no ancient lore on this new like sort of event that's happening. This catastrophic decline.
Oh yeah, there's lots there there
Oh,
there's
okay.
there's an entire column that that chronicles that there are several grooves that were each recorded history, and then at the beginning of the next cycle they started back again at the bottom so that they can compare events and everything.
Okay. Um,
So
yeah.
you can read they're 26,500 year cycles
Oh my God.
right next to each other.
Okay. I'll read up on this new decline.
It will take you some time.
Okay. Like how long?
Like, if you want to read the whole thing, probably about 3 months.
Oh, can I just like
You have time, if you, depending, time is
three
relative
months?
to the Thrycreen. I mean, keep in mind,
3 months. Uh, yeah, maybe not actually. What about just skip to the end of this thing?
so you just want to read like the last bit of it.
The last bit of this decline.
Okay, so you go up almost it's almost near the very top of the pillar is where it is where it ends up, and that you notice that there are 11 there are 12 previous grooves, and the current 13th groove is not complete.
Ah,
Okay,
okay.
the 13th groove is obviously the most recently carved,
Yeah.
and you can see just how the ages and weathering that the older grooves have gone through. ages of dust, and then being have had the dust cleaned off of them have blunted the edges a little bit, but they've been cared for as well and repaired over the years. So, um, but there are there are millennia. I mean, there are eons of of your culture's history here, and records of the way the culture has declined 12 times in the past.
12.
Yes.
Okay, and like the 13th thing is like is this time, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You see,
But again,
there
it's not complete.
there are there are there are six spaces left before reaching the end.
Okay. Um, can I read up on like just like the gist of the 12th one then?
The 12th one was apparently a resurgence of ice came down and covered much of the world, and what had previously been it was called the Great Drying, um, where
That that
the
must have been what put Atlantean into an ice age.
all of the all of all of the oceans withdrew. The glaciers grew to huge proportions, um, and and it said that the dragons that the dragons went to sleep.
Okay. Um, with that, I can kind of infer what's going to happen in this one. Uh,
The one previous to that was was a uh, a was a an inundation of the world,
I don't.
where the oceans rose up and covered all the land.
Oh,
All of the glaciers melted, and because 99% of the world's population lives on the coasts, everyone was drowned except for a
wow.
few who were on the inside, like the Dark Hive.
Us.
Yes.
Um, yeah, okay. Now I think I know what's going to happen. The glaciers are going to melt and everyone's going to die
The time
again.
before that,
Oh,
there were there were bands of there were bands of volcanoes that began opening in great rifts across the populated sections the of the world. Great rifts opened up between the continents and swallowed entire cities. Lakes of previously fertile lands turned into lakes of fire, as volcanism just went rampant across the entire globe. The time before that was a complete was a a complete global drought where no rain fell anywhere for about for it looks like close to 250 years, according to the according to it, and just a great dust ball where there were no clouds, nothing anywhere, and all the water was salt.
okay. So maybe I don't know what's going to happen this time.
The time before that were were great balls of fire falling from the sky, uh, just you know pummeling everything, setting huge fires across the globe, from which from which the from which clouded everything over, and there was no sunlight for 250 years.
Um, can I like make a religion check to see to like infer what's going to happen next or no?
A religion check would be if you were consulting the queen
Okay.
about
What check would I
something.
have to make to like think of what like
Uh,
is going to happen next?
it would be something like an arcana or history or knowledge or something like
Okay.
that.
I'll probably history then, right?
Um, Could be history, could be nature, like history or yeah, they're both any history or nature would be fine.
And yeah, history is wisdom, right?
Uh, no, history is int.
Oh, int. What's nature? Also int.
Nature's also int.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go for history. 6.
Hmm.
So yeah, probably not then.
Yeah, not just that, but the idea to look down at the other end of the pillar and see what see how you came out, how they recovered from it on the
Yeah.
other side does not occur to you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, with this newfound knowledge of it being just a catastrophic event that completely changes the world, um I do know in my own mind that like the 12th one, as you told me, was like an ice age. I can imagine that's how Atlantean is in its current state today. So that's uh that's what I'm gonna walk away with and out into the outside world.
Okay. So you go all the way out, you climb all the way up to the top of the top of the tallest spire, and it opens up onto this and you can hear the wind going by before you get there because the entire tube begins to vibrate with a certain note, and you hear the other two spires vibrating harmonically as well, so they're making three tones of the same chord, and it sounds a little something like this.
Wow.
Can you hear that?
That was immersive. Okay. All right, now I know what you're talking about.
So it's those three. Those three notes just and
Okay.
you get up to the you climb up to the top, and there's set of course there's a pair of sentries on in a little observation room at the top of each tower, but aside from that it's very feels very remote from the rest of from the rest of the city, very peaceful, and you come to the top, and your eyes are momentarily dazzled by the sudden light at the top, as you look around, and you're almost a half mile above the forest around you, and then there's the much lower area, which reaches out in, into kind of like a kind of a savanna that spreads out, a temperate floodplain, that right now at this time of year is dry.
Okay.
But you can see for miles in every direction from here.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful
Do
view.
I know where the nearest civilization is so I can be a doomsday prophet?
Uh, well, let me pull up.
This is also like the 13th doomsday, so I'm pretty sure this one's gonna be pretty special for some reason because of the number 13.
Yeah, and you're also 6 years away from it. So whatever it was, whatever whatever calamity uh, should have been building for over 200 years now.
Oh, but we haven't seen anything.
Well, it depends on perspective, because when you're a frog inside inside a pot that's slowly being turned up to boil, how do you know how do you know if you're boiled yet?
You've got a point.
So I'm gonna pull up this map, and that will hopefully change this one. So this is the so you're here at the dark hive, and the The nearest major city is the city of the Tabaxi, which is Aksum here. But then
Okay.
there's also the city of Glass, Tion, which is up here. Which there's huge. It's one of the three great cities of the world. Um,
Oh.
and you can that's gonna be the like the nearest biggest best megaphone that you will have that you'll be able to have. There's also there's a city of gnomes down here at the at the southernmost end of the southern continent, and then of course you know the city of Tabaxi here, the Aksum. There's scattered wood elf villages all throughout your lands down here, but you know but they don't live in wood elves don't live in huge cities. They live in
Mm-hmm.
small villages. So
Yep. As tempting as it is to go to like the central city, it's just it would be so great if I could go to the Aksum and yeah, to the Tabaxi for, obvious reasons.
okay, what are the obvious reasons?
Um the other person in the call here.
Uh, you don't know that Gray is from there. Um,
Oh,
and
never mind then.
as a matter of fact, Gray is not from there. So, um,
Oh, never mind then. I'll just head on over to the central hub.
as a matter of fact, the place where all the place where no, they never, none of the others ever said where they were from, did they?
No, I don't think.
Uh, you know, one of them was a short-faced kobold.
Right.
Um, one of them was a tabaxi. One of them was a one of them was one of the
Half
sea folk.
orc.
Yeah, a half orc. You know, and you know, and he had actually said that his tribe was one of the Infernal Queen's tribes. So you know that he would be just he would be in the city he would be in the forests and mountains north of the city of Glass. Um,
Okay.
let's see.
Um how far away am I from the city of Glass?
You're probably about a couple days flight.
Flight, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. I can fly?
Uh, you can fly with if you know take a piece of technological assistance.
Okay. How long would it be to walk or just to, yeah, go on foot?
Uh, it'd take you probably a week
All right.
at least. It, it's a long walk, but luckily you're pretty tireless and your hops are pretty large.
Right.
But
Um
most termites fly.
I think I'm going to go for the flight then.
Okay. They
Uh
actually there are actually spare wing packs up here that are
oh,
specifically for the wingless members of society
how convenient.
to be able to yeah and they're they're large versions they're large versions of the wings that that are on the flighted termites.
Okay, I'll just put them on and start flying towards the city of glass.
Yep. You strap it around or you strap it around your thorax and and tighten it and you push the center button which lights up with a little orange ring um, and the wings unfurl around you and they respond to your thoughts.
Oh, wow. Okay. I asked them, can you please take me to the city of glass, please?
It doesn't work like that.
Oh,
It works like okay, I'm ready to fly. So you
okay.
jump and you think fly, and they begin beating and
Okay.
you and
Oh, sure. I thought it was like a GPS.
no
Um,
no
all
it's
right.
it is they're these are not self driving wings.
Okay. Uh, yeah. Okay. I'll just fly with them then.
Cool.
towards the city of glass.
It does have a built-in compass feature, which feeds into your Thrycreen telepathy an automatic direction sense, so you know which direction is north.
All right. Which direction is the city of glass?
Due north,
Uh,
coincidentally.
How
It
convenient.
is extremely convenient.
Due
Um,
north then.
and you begin flying directly for the city of glass.
All right. Anything interesting happen on the way there?
Well, now that you ask, perhaps I should roll for random encounters, shouldn't I? Both day, both days, and do you fly through the nights as well?
Yep.
Okay, so you fly straight there, so it takes you less time than you would have thought. It takes you about a little over a full day of just flying. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as you get closer and closer, the let me see if I can find. I don't know if I have it, if I actually finished it or not. Oh, I need to do one thing before I show this, which is, oh no, that's the wrong one. Never mind. My bad. Uh, I thought I had a map of this city, but I don't yet. So the city of Glass is a gargantuan city. Um, it it span it its buildings are literally hundreds of kilometers long.
Oh wow. Okay.
They are huge constructions of glass that rise up out of a and over the top of a bunch of river valleys that are salt lands. Um, let me pull here. And they yes, they're a series of giant they're a series of giant buildings that lie across what look like they were once. Oh, that's not a good way to left. That look like they were once some sort of floodplain. Um, I apologize for the state of this map. It's one of the ones I'm currently working on. Um,
Mm.
so there's a series of large buildings across this floodplain. So there's a large river delta that extends up out of the long river that runs north almost the entire length, 2/3 of the length of the Southlands. Um, that is called the River of Reeds. Um, and it reaches out into this area that this would all be really fertile land if it weren't for the fact that the land is sown with salt. Um,
Salt.
salt. Uh,
Okay.
and so you get some grasses and such that can live out here, but it's mostly desert. Um,
Mm.
uh, but some of this salt has been gathered together over thousands of years, and an entire city was built here. Um, that I don't know why I don't have a picture of this here. These buildings literally they start, some of them start over here, and they they're built, they arch over the top of this large long sea here and
Oh
stretch down
wow.
over here, and there's three of them that do that.
They're that big.
They're that big. I mean, these are hundreds of kilometers long, and
Whoa.
and 2 or 3 kilometers tall. Um, and they're various shapes. The ones over here are long and rectangular and blocky. There's over here, very far to the east, hundreds of kilometers to the east. There's a large six-pointed star-shaped column that then has a smaller spire that comes off of it that just seems to pierce up into the heavens, and it just goes impossibly high. Um,
This
over,
place is giving like New York City vibes.
no, this is uh,
Bigger?
well, think of it this way. This is the eastern end of the Mediterranean Sea here,
Yeah.
and this is the island of Cyprus.
Okay.
Over here these are the mountain. This is the shores of Israel and Lebanon and Jordan over here. Over here is Crete. Up here is Greece. Up here is Turkey. So
Okay.
this
I know
is
where. Yeah, I know where everything is now.
so you're talking about buildings that reach from Greece to Egypt.
Oh my god. Okay,
So
that gives a bigger scale of how big these things
yes,
are.
yeah. I mean, and there's several different ones of differing sizes. Like you can see these from space.
Okay, so this is colossal.
Pa- yes, past the largest past the largest constructions that have ever been built by man by scales of thousands,
Wow. Okay.
and it's all
where
and it
where
and
do I even start?
and they're all made out of glass. It's all made out of enchanted magical glass.
I mean, they have sand, so
Actually, all of the land that you pass here is
well,
all
salt,
well,
right?
it's salt up here,
Oh, oh.
but all the land between the dark hive and here is all is all uh, fertile savannas and 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 grasslands and jungles, and where there are hills, there's nice rivers. I mean, it is a paradise of the natural world
Wow.
that's very much tended by the wood elves, but also by large herds of awakened beasts
Mm.
that maintain an order in the world, so to speak.
Where do I even start with this? Um, let's just like, what, is there like a central, like, where am I getting like the central vibes?
There is a large there to the on the eastern side of it. Man, where the hell is my map of this? I am so upset that I don't have this. Okay. Um, close that because I had been hand drawing maps of these for uh for practice. Um, hmm. So there's a series of buildings. The western ones are long and narrow, but as you go farther east, they become more fanciful and more geometric and more varied. Um,
Mm.
all the way to the very east, there's this kind of six pointed star shaped column, but like vertical column. Um, so so imagine like you have like you have a six pointed thing that you put of a on the end of a Play-Doh extruder, and then you push it through, and that's what the building is. It's just this immensely tall six pointed star shaped building.
Okay, I'll head over there. That sounds like a great place to start telling
Great,
everyone about the doomsday.
great. So you head there, and you approach the top of it, and the top of it has this long thin spire that goes up from it, and it's kind of almost like a narwhal's tooth. It's spiraled
Ah,
as it goes up around the outside and leads to a super top pinnacle that you can see from here has a flat table on the top, but there's no one there. It's at the bottom of the smaller spire that it appears to be there's some sort of large the top of the star shaped building is this large that has
bowl.
that has many seats around it and kind of like a central podium speaking area,
Okay.
and there's people of all races sitting in there.
All right. I'm gonna like slow down my flight and just sort of just like land in that general area
Are you going to land in the middle of it or on the periphery of it?
on the periphery.
Okay, so you land on the periphery, and as you land, several several guards who are wearing large horsehair helmets with long nose guards that plunge down, uh, ringmail that ringmail shirts that fall as tabards down down around them entirely, and they're carrying long spears, and they're wearing hobnailed sandals, and and three of them come to bar your way.
Uh, Greetings. I am Beestje of the Thrycreen Darkhive, and I'm gonna have to.
This is a closed session. You may not, none may pass.
Can I roll for intimidation and say, you may want to let me pass.
Go ahead and roll.
15.
Okay. Cool.
And I sort of, yeah, just like show them like the the blade, the chachka, not the chachka, the what is it, the chitin,
The
sort of.
chitin.
Yeah.
Okay, so you pull out your chitin and unicorn horn amalgam, and you pull it out and say, "I've got something to show you." And two of them look. The two of them are immediately ensorcelled by fear, and they go ah, and each of them goes running directly away. The third one in the middle, obviously a grizzled. You can see a thick gray beard emerging from underneath his helmet. He looks to his left, he looks to his right, he looks at you, and and he says, "Perhaps if you hand over your weapon, you may be allowed to remain. Otherwise, we do not. Otherwise, this council does not welcome armed intrusion."
Very well. This weapon you can't touch, though. I do not trust you. I'll lay it down, but I do not trust you. This weapon is very important.
He pulls out a homespun jute bag and says, "You may place it in here. I promise you, no hand shall touch it besides yours."
Very well. And I place it in the bag.
You place it in the bag, and he closes it around and and ties a smaller rope around it, and 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 ties it. You can see super securely to his belt, uh,
Okay.
going around it many times. I mean, this is not something that's going to casually come off.
Okay.
He stand
Uh
he wa- and he wa- and he walks you to the edge and says, "Who are you again?"
I am Prince Beyshe of the Dark Hive, the Thrycreen Dark Hive, directly south of here.
Uh, see what that says. Okay. Some of the people who are who are seated in the bowl, having heard the commotion on the edges, have been turning around to look, and they see you walking up, and there's oh, who's, what is this? Oh, what's going on? And you you approach at the top, and there's enough of a susurration that the speaker up there ceases speaking, and looks up, and the guard is standing there, and the speaker says, "Yes, what is the commotion?" And the guard says, "There's Beestje, Prince of the Darkhive, has come to address the conclave." And several of the people, you hear several susurration through the crowd. The Darkhive hasn't sent a representative in centuries, and they're all abuzz.
Greetings, people of the City of Glass, conclave of the City of Glass. I have brought terrible news that
Oh, that's terrible.
that the 13th doomsday is nearly upon us.
Doomsday. Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, what is this? Oh,
Calm down, calm down, calm down. This doomsday I speak of is the 13th because the 12th is the one that put the world of Atlanteon in an eternal ice age.
Eternal ice age. There's no eternal ice age.
Oh,
It's
wait, really?
perfectly warm here now. What is this? What is this creature speaking of?
Not eternal. Sorry, not eternal. It put Atlanteon in an ice age. This the one before that. What was the one before that again?
The one before that was a drought.
The one before that was a drought. The one before that were volcanoes. The one before that was fiery rocks raining down upon the land. This one, I'm sure, will be no better. I am no crazy doomsday prophet. This is very real.
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. 10. Oh, wait, no, sorry. 12. My bad.
12. Oh, isn't that bad? Let's see how you did. Well, you've got several people immediately are, this is what they were talking about. They're saying it's the end of the world. Oh, the Kali Yuga's come. We're all doomed. We're all doomed. We need to all hide. Oh, but there's going to be them. Just be quiet. And the speaker at the top is banging a is
Gavel,
uh,
sort of.
not it's well it functions like a gavel. It's a small black crystalline globe that strikes sparks as he as it pounds it on the on the clear glass lectern that it's on, and the glass lectern kind of like momentary phosphoresces as it strikes down on top of it. There will be order. Quiet in the conclave. There will be quiet here. You notice that the speaker appears to be completely clad in armor, but as you look with your magical vision, you notice that that it is a magically enchanted armor. Uh,
Okay.
so it is a magical construct of some sort that is at the lectern.
Okay.
Has very carved rounded graceful looking armor.
Yeah. I say, yes, it is true. Do not be afraid, though. The world has persevered through these calamities, and I'm sure we will too. And with that, good luck to you all. And this doomsday will be arriving in 6 years' time.
6 years time. That's not no time to prepare at all. Oh my god, no. Panic begins panic screaming and shouting begins settling in among them. Yeah, pretty much among them all, really. Um, they're there's there's several of them are shouting, saying, this is just this is just what the sciences were speaking of. Yes, but the yes, but the factories are certain that they can armor the city against it. But if a cataclysm comes that can shatter the entire world, it can shatter the city as well, but we will never be prepared. We will always be prepared. We will fight. And they're arguing now worse than when you walked worse much worse than when you walked in.
What were they talking about when I walked in? Could I tell?
Roll me an insight check.
Insight is intelligence or
Uh,
wisdom.
Insight is wisdom. Yes, wisdom.
Okay. 19. Wow.
Excellent. You as you look around confused, you're like, but why did my actions not galvanize all of you into action? You're looking around, and you see that that there's there's a large kind of a magical backdrop, a very wafer thin sheet of glass that hangs behind the central corridor, and it has upon it um, a, a an ersatz map of the world. It's not the world exactly as you learned it, but you can recognize, you know, major features of the geography of the planet. And it appears to be showing it appears to be showing a progressive, almost like a desertification of some sort of quality. There's something that looks like it starts small and spreads across the whole planet.
A desert, you said? Or no?
Uh,
What did you say? I heard the word desert.
it's like something is bleeding or leeching away from the world, but
Oh. And like the center is where?
there's no center. It's almost like if the world were flat, it's something that was like seeping out of the world
Oh, like underground.
or draining away.
Okay.
But it's not what it doesn't appear to be water. Because you notice that, you know, the sea that the coasts aren't changing or anything like that, like what you had read in the previous cycles. But it appears like it looks like what they're saying is that it's almost like power is going to be draining away. Like
Okay.
magical potential energy is draining away.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Who is this creature anyway? Why have they been permitted to this conclave? The the Dark Hive has never helped us before. Why would it help us now? They seek only to divide us, so that they may come and consume us. No, the Dark Hive will never consume us. They're busy in the Southlands. They don't require here. We held them off. We held them off successfully before. We shall do so again.
This is not declaring war. We are peaceful to an extent.
Arrest
However,
that creature!
hmm,
Arrest him! Guards! Guards! Arrest him!
did the guards
The
actually
gu-
come for me
the
or no?
guard the guards begin several of the guards begin closing in on
Okay. How many?
you. Well, there's you see at least 2 dozen of them scattered around the area. And several of them are headed towards you.
Okay. I need to think about this. Like, do I fight? There's probably too many of them. There's probably a lot of
There are
them.
quite a bit, and there's a lot of non-combatants in the area as well that you're trying to convince not not
Not,
force.
not, not fight. Like, not scare. I really need to think about this. anything else that could help me in the room, or no? Is like, have you told me everything about the room?
Uh, well, it's a lot. It's a large bowl-shaped depression in the top of this huge glass building. The glass is slightly phosphorescent, and you can see through it into the floor below, um, which appears to be a series of small chambers, um, which are filled with people that are looking into small crystal globes.
Hmm. I yell out, I do not have any weapons on me. I am merely the messenger. And as the saying goes, don't shoot the messenger.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Ow. I rolled a 7.
So you hold up your hands and you still got your weapon in it. The and so it's very plain that you're holding up a unicorn horn
Oh.
along with
Wait, I
some.
thought I put it in his
Oh,
bag.
you did put it in his bag.
I
That's
did put it
true.
in the bag.
Uh, you put your arms up, um, and and you're gonna surrender to the guards.
Um, do I have anything that could? Hmm. Yeah. Can charm person be used on like the guy, like the main speaker from here, or am I too far away?
Hmm. Your 10th level. Yeah, you could get him from here. You're not that far away from him.
Okay. I'll try and like
You're gonna charm the main speaker.
charm the main speaker into like sort of just like saying like, oh no, he's cool, he's cool, he's good, he's good.
Okay. So you charmed it. You cast your spell.
Yeah. Do I have to roll for spell casting?
Uh. Yeah. Go ahead and roll me a just to give me a DC for him to for his
Well,
wisdom.
the stave DC is 16, so
Yeah, he did not make it.
okay.
So so the so the war forged at the podium. Ping 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 ping. Let the let the representative quiet. The representative the representative of the Dark Hive speak. The rest of you speak ad nauseum all the time. I'm sick of listening to your voices. A fresh voice should be heard. Speak, speak, our friend, if you come in peace, and tell us if you bring us this dire news. Perhaps you bring some hope as well.
Did I read about any hope that happened in?
There's a lot of hope for the hives. The hives all survived.
Yeah.
Um, and the dragons survived, and the fungoids,
Yeah.
they all survived. But all the lesser races, yeah,
Yeah.
they kind of get
Yeah.
nuked back to the stone.
Okay. So yes, indeed, I do come in peace. We come in peace. We are not here to harm you. In past calamities, the the big races such as the Thrycreen, the dragons, they they survived and they stayed away from the coast of like, you know, but stay in the mainland as this large city is. Um the only sliver of hope that you have is that you are a strong race, which this city is quite strong, as I can see. Buildings that span from for hundreds of kilometers. I'm just saying this to tell you that just be careful. and just prepare for the upcoming doomsday, I would say.
You have given us much to think of, Prince of the Dark Hive. Uh, we shall call a recess so that we may discuss in our individual committees. And with that the whole the conclave begins clearing, um, and they begin walking through cleverly concealed tunnels underneath the ground, underneath the floor, and you see
Okay.
them disappearing down into a myriad of offices below.
Hmm. All right. Uh, what do I do now?
Well, the guards are kind of forming a circle around you, making
uh,
sure that you're not interfering with anyone as everyone is exiting, and that you're not trying to get deeper into the building.
yeah. Can I head on like out to like the main the old guard that let me in, or are the other guards blocking me?
The old guard is still standing next to you. The old
Oh,
guard
okay.
has not left your side
All right.
because they were like, okay, sure, go ahead and talk, but I'm gonna stay right here, and if you try anything bad, I'm gonna have to hit you.
Okay. Um, I'm not sure what to do because do I stay in this city or
Well, what did the queen charge you to do? She charged you to
s-
do two things, didn't
let
she?
let me know like where like let the civilizations know that doomsday is coming.
Spread the word
Spread the word and
and
what was
find your friends and former allies
right.
so that you can use their connections to help you muster help,
Yeah. Okay.
muster cooperation between the species.
Yeah. I don't know how I would do that. Uh
It is no small task that has been appointed to you, Talon of the Dark Hive.
yeah, so I think the first order of business is to just like say to the guards, "Hey, I think I'm done speaking. So, first of all, can I have my weapon back? Second of all, I'm just gonna fly on out of here." So,
The the lead guard says, "Truly, this is all you came for?"
yeah, yes, that's. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
I
unties the bag and opens it up before you and holds it up.
he holds it. Does
No,
that mean he
no,
gets like?
no. He holds the
Oh,
bag up for you so
okay,
that you can reach your hand in, and
okay, yeah. Yeah, I grab my weapon.
you reach your hand in. You extract your weapon, and it is whole and hearty. Feels
Um,
still feels a little clunky in your hand.
yeah,
Maybe the end of the unicorn horn needs to be shaved down a little bit so that
yep,
your hand fits a little bit better onto it.
yeah. Ah, this is really confusing.
There is a lot, and I'm not really giving you much to go on yet.
um, where can I find I asked them. But before I go, is there sort of a map of different civilizations that I can find here?
Certain the the Warforged which you have charged, which is still standing on the podium, begins to manipulate its controls, and you see the display widen up into precisely that, into a world map.
All right.
So yeah,
For the old crew of Um, wait a minute. I have these. Didn't Gray give me daggers that I can use to locate him?
Daggers that you can use to locate Gray.
Yeah, didn't he give me daggers?
He did give you daggers, didn't he?
I think he did. Yeah.
Gray, did you give Beestje daggers? He might not be there.
That is true. The daggers, all four of them were given to him.
And the daggers could be used to locate you.
Quite possibly they were magical, and I gave them to try to keep in touch with me.
All right. Yes.
They were given to me from the Feywild, so maybe someone can interpret their abilities. Each
Yeah.
had its own stone.
Looking at this world map, I take the daggers and I mean, how would I use them? I just sort of like imagine, like, just sort of like think of in my mind, like I try to use telepathy, sort of, but not really. Just sort of like in my mind, I imagine like the words forming in my head as I hold these daggers, and I'm like, where can I find Gray? Do I hear anything back or no?
What you hear is less of something that you hear, and more something that you feel. You feel a pull, but the pull doesn't seem to be in a direction. The pull almost seems to be inward but outward at the same time.
That's not vague at all.
It's not vague at all.
Um,
It's almost like he is somewhere, but he's not in a direction that you can travel in.
oh, he's on a different plane, isn't he? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think he's on a different plane. Okay.
Not complex at all. Not a puzzle
yeah,
at all. Is it?
yeah. This is not a puzzle at all. Yeah, I'm gonna head on to the balcony where none of the guards are to just like, sort of, just like call, like dial,
Like get some
dial.
perspective, or
Yeah,
you're gonna phone a friend.
yeah. I'm gonna phone a friend.
Okay, so you pull out your chitin and you and you meditate with it slowly. Make a religion check, please.
No short on religion here. I rolled a 6, but I have religion plus 11, so I really rolled 17.
17. So you meditate and you hear the voice of the queen coming through. Yes, dear.
Hi. So I have these daggers that one of my accomplices from before lended me to find him again. And they were pulling me, but not in a direction, sort of inward, but also outward. I don't know how to perceive this.
Hmm. These are your friends from that you met in the Feywild, yes?
Yes.
Yes. The Feywild is not part of this world. It is part of a different world. So, if your friend is still there, you would not feel your friend in a direction, but you would feel that they exist.
Oh my god.
Perhaps if you returned to that palace where you where you were sent where you were sent back to the hive from, you might encounter them.
I Okay. I mean, thanks. And I just hang up. Um. Okay. Here's my thinking. I have a wish spell.
You do have a wish spell.
I can just wish to be just to be in that palace. No, I'll wish to. Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm also using up this wish so I can go into this session like at Lanteon without a wish because I want it to be, you know, just a little balanced.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. So I'm gonna wish to be right next to Gray again.
You make you pull out you
The
stow
half moon
you
card.
stow your chitin away, and you reach into your pouch, and you withdraw the half moon card, and you hold it up in front of your compound eyes, and the card begins to swirl a little bit, and you seem to be looking deeper and deeper into it, and the card almost goes directly over your eyes, and then when you pull the card away, you are standing once more in the Palace of Heart's Desire, and you're standing at the doorway of a room looking in at Gray and Nilla, who are sitting over what appears to be some sort of aged raccoon person sitting in the sit, who's sitting up in a bed.
Oh. Okay. Um.
And that is where we will call it for the evening.
Yep. That's what I expected because yeah.
So I will stop the recording.